And back here in St. Louis, let's take a look at the NFC West. The Rams are in second place, by the way. The Cardinals are at Cleveland, and later on America's Game of the Week, it'll be Seattle playing at Dallas as we send it down to Christina Pink.
Thank you, Dick. Well, with workhorse Carlos Hyde out, a bit of a shakeup in the 49ers backfield. Former Australian rugby star Jared Hayne was released on Saturday in a surprise move, but Kendall Gaskins, fellow running back promoted from the practice squad, could see his first meaningful minutes today. The players love him, could provide a boost, but Reggie Bush will be the starter. Back to you, Dick.
All right, Christina, thank you very much. The Rams have won the toss. They will defer. Jim Tomsula and the 49ers will get the ball first. 49ers off to their worst start in 5 seasons. Rams haven't been over 500 at this point of a year since 2006, so a lot to go for the Rams in particular. Bruce Ellington is back there along with Quinton Patton, and Greg Zuerlein will be kicking off for the Rams. So the 49ers have 2 men back there for the opening kickoff. Rams coming off the win against the Browns. 49ers a week ago Thursday really looked terrible in their loss to Seattle. And there's been a lot of talk about the 49ers problems during that last week. The kick will sail out, and the 49ers will get the ball first on the 20-yard line. Colin Kaepernick. Boy, has he been under the spotlight. Although he's had success against the Rams, a 3-2 record, 7 touchdowns and no interceptions.
Obviously, I said in the opening, Dick, that they've got him going, get him going on the ground. But I think the biggest thing is we got to see Colin Kaepernick compete today, not be scared to make a mistake.
Yeah, he's been shaky a little bit in the pocket with 3 tight ends. Kaepernick rolling out and completes the pass. And close to first down yardage, Vance McDonald, the 3rd-year tight end out of Rice. Let's look at the 49ers. And, of course, Reggie Bush gets the start at running back. But as Christina said, we'll see Kendall Gaskins, Mike Davis as well. And there's that offensive line, and they've been under siege.
The matchup we're going to have to watch is at that right guard position. Jordan Devey and the backup Andrew Tiller are both going to rotate. They've got the job of holding off Aaron Donald, which elite guards have not been able to do.
Boy, it's a tough task for that offensive line against that front 4. First down. And another play action. Kaepernick's pass, and wide open is Torrey Smith, and he will have a first down. Torrey Smith, who has caught only 14 passes, picks up 11 yards. So 2 completions for Kaepernick to start the game. Let's take a look at that vaunted Ram defense, and William Hayes playing well with the injured Chris Long out with the knee.
This group has been fearsome, and they have been penetrating in everybody's backfield. So it's going to be important up front to establish a stout front.
And going to the air again, this time out to Bruce Ellington. And Ellington will pick up about 2 or 3 yards on the play.
One of the things that you see early now is that Colin Kaepernick is getting going. What they're moving is moving the launch point, getting the bootlegs going, getting the short routes out, because that's an extension of the run. So if they can get this Rams defensive line slowed down, that can open up things in the run game for him as well.
Mike Davis checks in, rookie from South Carolina. It'll be 2nd down and 6 from the 48 of the Niners. The first running play of the game for the 49ers, and it gets them maybe a yard. Mike Davis on a read option, tackled by William Hayes. No gain on the play.
Colin Kaepernick, for the first time in his career last week against Seattle, 0 rushing attempts. You know that he is going to get his opportunities here in this zone read. He has got to take advantage of them as well. Reggie Bush has been known as a 3rd down back, and they don't have the workhorse in Carlos Hyde, so they've got to get him running with football.
Kaepernick likes to run. He's done well in the past, although the Rams have limited him. It'll be 3rd down and 6. And Kaepernick under pressure. He's going to take off, and he'll get the first down. Kaepernick inside the 45-yard line. Eugene Sims part of a deep defensive line core for the Rams, putting the pressure on, and a gain of 9.
And that's what Colin Kaepernick does. He forces you to play 11-on-11 football with his ability to scramble outside of the pocket.
And a hurry up here, first down. And the handoff to Reggie Bush back in the game. And no, it's a fake handoff, and Kaepernick going to his left. They might have been better handing off to Bush. Kaepernick is knocked away in good pursuit that time by Janoris Jenkins and Rodney McLeod from the secondary, picking up 2.
They give the fake zone inside to Reggie Bush. He keeps it. Janoris Jenkins and this secondary have been great in open field making tackles, and he delivers a big hit on Colin Kaepernick.
Mike Davis now back in there. Boy, that secondary has really stepped up for the Rams. It'll be second down and 8 on the Ram 41 on the first series of the game. Kaepernick on the read option, hands off to Mike Davis, and Davis will be about 2.5 yards shy of the first down, and the strong safety T.J. McDonald making the tackle after a pickup of 5.
I like the pace that the San Francisco 49ers offense is going at. Is they're being aggressive. They're going no huddle. This is the first time with the stop that they're going back in. But what they're doing is they're not allowing the St. Louis Rams to change their personnel, give them different looks, and they're able to keep that same base personnel on the field, and they've moved the ball successfully.
49ers only 3 points scored on the first possession of the game this year. It's Reggie Bush back in. San Francisco alternating running backs on every play. It'll be third down and 3 from the 36. Kaepernick stepping up, has time, and his pass incomplete, intended for Quinton Patton and covered by LaMarcus Joyner.
LaMarcus Joyner has stepped up. Last year in his rookie year, he really struggled, but last week, 6 solo tackles, 2 passes defensed. Nice job on the crossing route, being able to jump in front of it and really guard Quinton Patton.
So the Rams finally close down this 49ers foray, and Phil Dawson will try the field goal. He's missed just 1 this year. This would be his longest of the season. 54-yard attempt for Dawson. Phil Dawson's kick is good. So the 49ers have equaled the number of points they have scored on the first possession all year with a field goal here. Todd Gurley will show what he has when the Rams come back 3-0 San Francisco.
Today's game is sponsored by Southwest. Transparency, low fares, nothing to hide.
And here in St. Louis, the visiting 49ers score first on the field goal there by Phil Dawson, 36th career 50-yard field goal, and of course the most in franchise history for long kicks. So 49ers lead. Benny Cunningham, outstanding kick returner, line drive kick by Bradley Pinion, the rookie from Clemson, and the Rams will take it out on the 20-yard line. So the first possession for the Rams offensively, Gurley ready to run when we come back.
Today's game is sponsored by Bud Light. Make the right call. Drink responsibly.
And welcome back to St. Louis. 3-0, the 49ers lead, and the first offensive possession for the Rams starting out at the 20-yard line. Nick Foles is the quarterback, and the running back is Todd Gurley, and Gurley gets the call on first down and looking to move the pile out to at least 5 yards before Ian Williams makes the stop on this spectacular running back, which we'll talk about. Nick Foles, and he has not passed for over 200 yards in any game since the opening game of the season.
Right away to start, the Rams are going to the no huddle, which helped them last week to get this offense going, and they talked all week. They need to start fast.
They don't usually do the no huddle, but they did last week, and they've come back again. And here is Gurley, and this time the 49ers, and again it's Ian Williams are right there, and a gain of 1 yard on the play. So let's take a look at the Rams offense, and Tavon Austin is the other big threat besides Gurley. They're going to need some others too to come in.
If they can get Tavon Austin going on the jet sweeps, the reverses, the fakes as a decoy, that's going to spread out this 49ers defense and open up things in the middle for Todd Gurley.
And an inexperienced offensive line with 2 rookies on the right side, Jamal Brown and Rob Havenstein. So on third down and 4, and the pass deep, and it is dropped. dropped by Kenny Britt. Kenneth Acker was with him all the way. We have a penalty flag down, however, at about midfield. A terrific pass by Foles and dropped by Britt. We'll see what the penalty is all about. Jerome Boger is the referee today. And the conference longer one with a lot of 49ers around. Boger and his forces.
There is no foul on the play. 4th down.
It took a long time to determine that, so it'll be 4th down, and the Rams will have to kick.
Initially, it looked like they were going to call the offensive pass interference on Kenny Britt because you see his right arm go with the stiff arm to get that extension, to get that space, to get to the sideline, but a lot of time decided and no call on that play.
Reggie Bush is back deep, and Johnny Hecker will be kicking from his 15. And a good kick heading over to the sideline, and the 49ers will start just outside of their 20-yard line. So Colin Kaepernick, who brought the 49ers to a field goal success, comes out once again.
Today's game on Fox is sponsored by Ram Trucks. Guts, glory, Ram. And by DirecTV. Don't just watch TV, DirecTV.
And we're going to get our first look at Kendall Gaskins on the practice squad all of last year and so far this season, activated with Jared Hayne released. Christina Pink had the report. They like him, 238 pounds and can hit hard. And what does he do? He slips on his first handoff. First action he's seen in the NFL, and ends up losing a yard.
The one thing that they like about Kendall Gaskins is at Richmond, he ran that inside zone, outside zone stretch that they feel can open up things. But then also, we're going to see Mike Davis, who's a shifty back, who ran that zone read option style at South Carolina.
And he comes into the game, does Mike Davis, and Jerome Simpson, who's coming off a 6-game suspension, wide to the left. And there is the screen pass up the middle to Davis. And Mike Davis spinning his way. And Davis is tackled about a yard shy of the first down by Martin Barron.
Well, as an offensive lineman, if you want to slow down the pass rush like you need to against this Rams front four, you've got to get screens going. So you see the ends getting upfield. You see the defensive tackles trying to penetrate. You get the screens going, it makes them slow down and second guess getting upfield so fast.
So now it'll be 3rd down and 1, and there you see Davis using everyone. So far, 3 running backs have been employed by the 49ers. It'll be 3rd down and 1 at the 30. Flag down. Kaepernick gets hit as he throws and overthrows Reggie Bush. Aaron Donald putting the pressure on. Let's see what the call is.
Illegal formation. Offense. Number 84 covered up an eligible lineman. That penalty is declined. 4th down.
So it is 4th down. Legal formation declined, and so punting situation now, and Bradley Pinion will be kicking to Tavon Austin. Austin already with a 75-yard touchdown return on a kick, leading the league, averaging over 15 on punt returns. So here's Pinion. Good high kick. And the fair catch called for by Austin as he sails out of bounds inside the 20-yard line. So a 51-yard kick by Bradley Pinion, and the Rams go to work again. They have a vast series history back when they were the Los Angeles Rams and San Francisco 49ers from the 50s on. And they do not have a great like for each other. Rams and 49ers. That's a rivalry from a long time ago. 1st and 10 from the 18. Here is Gurley off the left side, and he picks up 2 yards. Quinton Dial making the tackle.
Quinton Dial is their best defensive lineman, and he is a load at the point of attack. And you're going to see this front three in this 3-4 system for the 49ers. They're going to want a two-gap. They're going to eat up blockers and let these linebackers run.
49ers next to last in pass defense and next to last in total defense. And movement in the line and a free play downfield, and Britt is there, and the ball is knocked away. Good coverage by Tremaine Brock, and it looked like Ahmad Brooks had jumped.
Nice hard count.
Outside defense, number 55. 5-yard penalty, still second down.
Take a look now at the 49ers defensive lineup, and as you mentioned at the outset, Eric Mangini always has some tricks up his sleeve.
He most certainly does. He's going to blitz, he's going to disguise, and he wants to be aggressive. Great to see Navarro Bowman back on the field, leading or second in the NFL in tackles. Jaquiski Tart, he's stepping in for an Antoine Bethea, who you cannot replace. It's going to be important to get communication on that back end across to everybody, because that's what Bethea brought.
And here is a fake handoff, and Lance Kendricks on the reception. Lance Kendricks, by the way, is playing with a cast on his left thumb. He had surgery on the thumb, didn't play last week against the Browns, and a gain of 4 and a first down for the Rams. Now Tavon Austin split to the bottom part of your picture. And you know Nick Foles will be looking for him sooner or later. And instead hands off to Gurley. 49ers snuff that out, and Glenn Dorsey in to make the play. So all three of the front three for the 49ers have contributed so far, David.
This is the type of running defense that they have to have, and they're hoping that they have the same performance that they did against Adrian Peterson, Eddie Lacy, and Justin Forsett, who combined for only 184 yards and 0 touchdowns.
They've been tough against some good running backs. Again, they line up without the huddle to the Rams. And here is Foles, and the crossing pattern is caught by Bradley Marquez, and picks up about 5 yards with Jaquiski Tart making the tackle. Tart, by the way, second-round draft pick out of Samford, who David was talking about.
You know that the Rams are continuing to stay with this up-tempo beat and the no huddle. Nick Foles is very familiar with this, coming from Chip Kelly in that Philadelphia Eagles offense.
And he's got Benny Cunningham, good receiver out of the backfield in the lineup now into block. Foles steps up, and the pass incomplete. And Stedman Bailey on the shallow cross. And if he had caught it and been tackled, he wouldn't have had the first down anyway. Eric Reed on the good coverage for the 49ers.
You see the crossing route, and you know that you're going to get hit. You just wonder if Stedman Bailey took his eyes off of that football, knowing that coming across the middle, he's expecting a big hit.
So it's 4th down, and Johnny Hekker will be kicking. Reggie Bush is back. Beauty. A lot of hang time there, and Reggie Bush on the 8-yard line, giving ground inside the 5. Flag is down, and you know what that means. And Bush is pushed out of bounds. That normally is an illegal block or holding on the return, and Reggie Bush pushed out of bounds, and he is slow getting up.
We saw Josh McCown slide into that wall last week and get hurt in his arm. It's tough when you have that concrete and you're going full speed trying to slow down. Slid and fell. Hopefully Reggie Bush is okay.
Well, this is the last thing the 49ers need. And now we have tempers flaring. Jake McQuaid, the long snapper, right in the middle of it. And
that's something you usually don't see, is the long snapper in the middle of a scrum fight.
In fact, you never notice the long snapper unless he makes a mistake.
Or if he makes the tackle covering downfield.
So a flag is thrown. First on the initial one on the return by Bush. And that's the only penalty marker that we see. Reggie Bush, by the way, is still down after crashing into that wall.
I will say this, as a player who played 11 years in this league, You always wonder with the referees, what's taking so long with these calls? You always talk
We have
about
multiple fouls on the play. During the kick, illegal block in the back. Receiving team, number 49. That penalty is to decline. During the return, illegal block in the back, number 25. Half the distance to the goal. After the play was over, unsportsmanlike conduct, San Francisco, for the assistant coach coming off the bench and getting involved with a player. Half the distance to the goal, San Francisco keeps the ball, first down.
Well, I will have to say this. I would have a long conference with those penalties. That was a litany of penalties. You name it, they had it. We know about this. Half the distance is the last thing we heard.
know that they called that on an assistant coach, but this is Anquan Boldin, the wide receiver who's out today, who got involved in that fight. See him going out there to back up his teammates.
So Boldin goes onto the field, and the ball is on the 3-yard line. 3 penalties called against the 49ers. Boldin's unsportsmanlike, and the 2 half the distance, and the handoff to Mike Davis. And it's Mark Barron who's there to make the tackle.
Well, we had the camera, but this is what we found. You see him walk in, and you see him push. Ends up pushing Reynolds right here.
Boldin wanted to play badly. His hamstring made it unable for him to go, but when we talked to him last night, he said, I'm really going to try. They tried him out before the game. Anxious to play. 2nd down and 11 after the loss of 1, and the handoff is to Mike Davis, and he barely gets out of the end zone, gets to the 1-yard line. So 2 straight losses of a yard. That time Michael Brockers is there. On another issue is that Reggie Bush was carted off the field. So the 49ers thin at the running back spot, to say the least. They have Mike Davis and Kendall Gaskins, and that's just about it. So now it'll be 3rd down and 12 from the 1. And it's a safety. Handoff to Davis, and he is tackled in the end zone by Michael Brockers for a safety. And the Rams get 2 points.
Because the ball carrier did not get the ball out of the end zone, resulting in a safety.
And the Rams will also get the ball on a free kick.
Well, the Rams defense started fast last week against the Cleveland Browns, and this is what has gotten this offense going. Look at Brockers at the point of attack, get penetration on Marcus Martin, open up things, and this is the last position as a San Francisco offense. You want to be in backed up with your arm in the end zone.
No chance.
No
there.
chance.
No chance. There were 2 Rams there, and Brockers with James Laurinaitis helping out, and so it's now 3-2. This could be a score that we might see at the World Series tonight between the Royals and the Mets on Fox. 3-2 right now, and the Rams will get the ball back. And this Ram defense making its presence felt. And there's Jeff Fisher. Just remember, there was always trickery with Jeff Fisher, especially when it comes to special teams. So we're always going to have our eyes open. Bradley Pinion with the free kick, and Tavon Austin back about the 25. Kind of a wild start to this one, David.
It really has. A lot of penalties. Teams backed up, 3 and outs. But both teams right now relying on their defense to get it done.
This is a free kick. And there's the threat. Running up is Austin. Austin at the 32. And down he goes at the 37-yard line. Jimmy Ward on the tackle. Well, speaking of the World Series, the Royals are 1 win away from their first championship in 30 years. And tonight in Game 5, Edinson Volquez will make an emotional return to the mound against Matt Harvey. It should be an incredible night in New York. And what a series this should be. The Royals-Mets Game 5 tonight after football, only here on Fox. 1st and 10 at the 38. Good field position now, David, for the Rams. See if they can capitalize. Trailing by 1. Here's Austin going in motion, and they hand off to Gurley. Gurley hasn't done much yet, picks up 2 yards on first down.
Well, the good thing is that they're staying consistent with the run game. This is an inexperienced offensive line, so the only way that you can get them moving forward and continue to get this offense going is running the football, letting this line be aggressive so that they can slow things down in the passing game.
Remember, Gurley had ACL surgery 11 months ago, inactive for the first 2 games, has started the last 3 and has been gangbusters. 2nd and 8 from the 40. Short drop and the pass. Tavon Austin makes the catch, keep both feet in to midfield, and a first down for St. Louis.
Nice job getting it going on 2nd down. Foles getting the ball outside, but look at Austin one-on-one against Trumaine Brock, who is their top corner, but you see him backpedaling. Once Tavon Austin breaks, he's got to get downhill.
He is the leading receiver for the Rams and the 2nd leading rusher for St. Louis. Picks up 10 yards there. It'll be a first down at midfield. Play action. And the pass caught at the 25-yard line and picked up on the loose ball. It's a turnover, and the 49ers get it. Eli Harold recovers the fumble. Austin lost it after making the play, and a flag is down as well. So we'll have to sort this one out. Will it be a turnover for the 49ers?
Nick Foles had great
The rule on
protection.
the field is a catch and a fumble recovered by the defense. After the play was over, personal foul, unnecessary roughness. Offense, number 61, will pilot onto a player already on the ground. 15-yard penalty, first down.
Jaquiski Tart is the one who comes down to make the tackle, and Tavon Austin swinging that football around, gets it out, and the 49ers defense is able to recover.
And of course they review all turnovers, and they will this one for sure. By the way, Tart starting his first NFL game. Antoine Bethea, a guy that you really can't replace for the 49ers, out with the season with surgery, injuring his pec muscle at the Seattle game. That's
The
the
previous
first
play is under review.
First fumble recovery for the 49ers if it goes. And they're going to review to see whether Austin actually made the catch before it was ruled a fumble. We'll be back. Play on the field. The call was that Tavon Austin had fumbled after making the catch, and it was Eli Harold who recovered the fumble. Mike Pereira out in Los Angeles. Is it a catch, Mike?
Well, I think by certain criteria now it is. One thing to say here, establish first, he's not going to the ground. So he is a receiver on his feet. He turns upfield, the ball comes loose as the 3rd step actually hits the ground, and it was ruled a catch on the field. So, you know, to me, if it's consistently ruled, it'll stay as a catch. One thing to remember, if it's reversed to an incomplete pass, even though the piling on play happened at the end of the play, that will still have to be enforced.
The ruling on the field stands.
And Mike,
First down, San Francisco.
Call it that the call stands, so it was a catch and a fumble. Thank you, Mike.
And that's, again, that's staying with their criteria.
It's been a question the last several weeks. Golden Tate in the end zone for the Lions, and this has been an issue that has been discussed widely. Mike Davis is the running back, and a first down at the 47 of the Rams, and Davis slips and falls, and there are 2 more penalty markers down.
Before the snap, false start. Offense, number 61. 5-yard penalty, still first down.
Call that on Andrew Tiller.
Tiller alternating with Jordan Devey at right guard. So 5-yard penalty. It'll be 1st and 15 back at the 48 of the 49ers.
It's not the way you want to start with your first snap in the Steelers.
Here comes the safety blitz, and the pass out incomplete to Bruce Ellington. Let's go down to Christina Pink.
Dick, Reggie Bush is questionable to return with a knee injury. He was looked at on the sideline on his left leg after he slammed into the wall. Lots of chaos going on during that time. But Bush was carted off. You can clearly see the frustration as he's struggled to stay healthy all season through his mouth guard when he was carted off the field. But again, questionable to return. Thin backfield for the Niners right now.
No question about it, Christina. And of course, Reggie Bush missed 2 games with calf injuries, shoulder injuries, and the like. And you could see he slipped out of bounds before he went into the
St.
wall.
Louis is challenging the rule on the field of a forward pass.
And a challenge by the Rams saying that it was a forward pass or it was thrown as a backward pass. You think we've seen enough yellow flags?
They're challenging if that's a forward pass. There's no doubt. Here's the line of scrimmage. You see Colin Kaepernick get back, but look at that ball is here. That's not behind Colin Kaepernick. It's not behind any of the offensive linemen. That's just a flare screen to the wide receiver, which they try to do in those rockets and jet screens as another way as in extending the run. Slow down the pass rush. Let's get a quick hitter outside and set up the blocking.
So Jeff Fisher challenging that. Tom Sula in his first year as the head coach of the 49ers, and Jeff Fisher making the challenge. If he loses the challenge, the Rams lose a timeout.
After reviewing the play, the ruling on the field is confirmed as a forward pass. St. Louis is charged a challenge and a timeout.
So the Rams have 2 timeouts left here in the first half, where they're not as crucial as they are in the second half. But it was clearly shown by my partner here that it was a forward pass. So it'll be second down and 15. 49ers on their own 48. 49ers have not scored a first quarter touchdown all year. They have just about 3 minutes to go to try that. Mike Davis remains the running back, and a straight drop back, and it's tipped and nearly intercepted by Akeem Ayers. Time for a game break. Let's check in with Kurt Menefee.
Hey, the Saints have suddenly won 3 out of 4, and they have the lead right now against the Giants. Brandon Cooks from Drew Brees. Brees 2 first quarter touchdown passes, and they're up 14-7, starting the second. Dick, David, and Christina.
All right, Kurt, thank you very much. So the Saints starting to put on the steam a little bit, and your old club locked in that tough race in the NFC East.
Yep. This is not the position that this 49ers offense can be in. 3rd and 15. The Rams have the most team sacks since 168. They're looking to get more now.
Getting hit as he throws. It's short, and it's incomplete. And right now, Jerome Simpson, the former Viking, claiming he was interfered with by Trumaine Johnson, and it very nearly became a play into Johnson's hand. Good pressure that time by Robert Quinn, looking for, as you mentioned, another sack by a team that has really put the steam on this year. 23 tied for 3rd coming into this game. Jim Tomsula says that Simpson was interfered with. He's an emotional guy.
He most certainly is. He's a former defensive line coach. You know he's going to be very aggressive. He's going to be into the game, and he's going to show his emotions on his sleeves.
4th down and pinion kicking. Tavon Austin. The fair catch, and this one goes into the end zone, and another flag is down. Penalty flag is down, and the hat is off an official, so you wonder whether somebody had come out of bounds and was trying to get back in. We have had 5 penalties. It seems like a lot more so far in this game, David.
Sure does.
There are 2 fouls on the play, both against the kicking team. Holding, kicking team number 35. 1 is accepted. Holding, kicking team number 35 is accepted. The play resulted in a touchback, so we're going to penalize them from the 20-yard line to the 30.
Holding penalty called against the 49ers. Looks like Jim Tomsula has already been through the ringer in this game, and taking over as head coach of this 49er team, trying to win their first road game of the year.
They most certainly have, and it's very tough with the difficulty of coming into this with a struggling offense, losing Carlos Hyde, losing Anquan Bolden. But I'm more concerned about the Rams right now. Their MO is, have they been able to stack wins? Were they able to win the games that they're supposed to win? Right now, it's a sloppy game, and they're not proving it on the football field right now and taking advantage of a wounded animal.
Nothing has been fluid in this game. No rhythm at all because of all the penalties. And a first down at the 30-yard line for the Rams. And play action pass downfield to Austin, and it's knocked away. Good defensive play by Eric Reed. I'll tell you, the 49ers have done a good job defensively so far at not letting Gurley get unleashed and in covering the receivers downfield.
Going to see the one-on-one matchup. Eric Mangini said they've got to get defense going. Tavon Austin stretches. Reed's not able to get over the top.
And it's a good thing.
Looking for a flag. He didn't turn around, didn't get his eyes to a ball, but think about how many flags they've thrown. It's surprising they haven't thrown that one, but they've stayed away from the pass interference calls today.
Here is Gurley on the run, and Gurley picking up about 4 yards. And the tackle is made by Corey Lamonier. Reed just barely got his head around just before that ball got there, but the way things have been called in this game, I'm surprised as well.
They're letting the receivers and the defensive backs play. There have been flags and everything else out on the football field, but that's one thing they have not been calling is pass interference, offensively or defensively.
Benny Cunningham has come in, and Gurley getting his first breather of the game. He's carried 6 times for 15 yards. Longest run has been 5. 3rd down and 6. 4 receivers, 1 in the slot. Foles his pass, and it's incomplete. Intended for Jared Cook, the tight end. So it'll be a punting situation right now. Well, what kind of quarter have we had? Well, first, an unusual score of 3-2 with the 49ers leading. We've had a safety, 6 combined penalties. We've had 2 reviews. One was an official review, and then the Rams challenge. A lot of paperwork in
Sloppy
this
first quarter.
There's the punt. Ellington at the 10, not going anywhere, and Kaepernick is going to have a long way to go here. Well, tomorrow on FS1, Colin welcomes special guest Donald Trump to the herd. The most controversial man in politics meets the most fearless voice in sports talk. The Herd with Colin Cowherd tomorrow at noon Eastern on FS1. And if you miss it live, we'll have the Trump interview tomorrow night at 8 Eastern. Balanced so far for the 49ers. They will start here from the 11-yard line. Mike Davis, the running back. Remember, Reggie Bush carted off with an injury. Questionable as to his return. And here is Davis. And Davis is going to be pushed back by William Hayes. Hayes has played it very well for the injured Chris Long.
It started with Nick Fairley actually inside. He was able to get inside leverage on Alex Boone, who was their best guard and a strong left side. He was able to get his hands inside at the point of attack, which picked off the tight end coming to set things up, and Vernon Davis. Nice stout job at the point of attack.
Loss of 3. Ball now at the 8. 2nd down. Pressure on Kaepernick, and the screen pass is incomplete. They were trying to get it to Mike Davis, and this time Aaron Donald putting the pressure on. Donald going against Jordan Devey. That's a big matchup that the 49ers have to handle.
Well, this St. Louis defensive line know that with the struggles and the injuries now that they have in the backfield, now that they're going with 2 inexperienced backs, they're playing the run on the way to the quarterback.
Kaepernick started 3 for 3, but has been only 1 for his last 7. Kaepernick is going to run, and he's going to slide at the 15-yard line. Final seconds of the first quarter.
You know, when you're backed up and it's 3rd and long, you're going to go with the draw, just try to get it out of the back area. They've already had the safety. Give the punter some room to punt.
Tavon Austin, looking for good field position, will be at about the 35-yard line and ready to move. And Bradley Pinion, 5th-round pick from Clemson, will kick from inside his 5-yard line. And they're going to let the clock run down, and that will end the first quarter.
This is the end of the first quarter.
That's the end of the first quarter, with the 49ers leading the Rams 3-2. Fox NFL Sunday will return after these messages and a word from your local Fox station. Start of the second quarter, Dick Stockton along with David Deal and Christina Pink. 4th down, and Bradley Pinion will be punting, and Tavon Austin. And this is a low end-over-end kick. Austin will let it bounce. And it will be down at the 34, where the Rams will go to work. And Nick Foles, who was 4 for 8. Well, the Rams have not been able to move the ball in 4 possessions in the first quarter.
And that's what they stressed all week, and it hasn't been accomplished. They stressed that they need to start fast, and they can't wait to the second half to make adjustments.
LJ McCray is the injured 49er. They've already lost Reggie Bush with a knee injury, carted off, so we'll take a break. Seconds into the second quarter.
Today's game is sponsored by the Ford Transit, built Ford tough, and by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
And back here at St. Louis, do you ever play a game like this with all the penalties and situations we've had early on?
It's been a tough one, and these are the games that you're hoping that something turns right, and somebody steps up and make a play to get the momentum back on your side.
Trey Mason has come in the game for the first time as a running back. He was inactive last week against the Browns. He's had an ankle problem, picks up 1 yard. Talk about offensive leaders. That's almost an empty bucket at this point. But there they are. It'll be 2nd down and 9 from the 35. The numbers are just about even. Total yards, 1 yard difference. And now a flag is down.
Huddle. Offense, number 27. 5-yard penalty. Still 2nd down.
Too many men.
This is every drive has started with a penalty on both sides of the ball. Every drive has had something that has stopped, that has killed the momentum of each football team, and have put them on the positive side so that they, on 1st and 2nd down, they can try to stay ahead of the chains.
We have not had any rhythm in this game yet. 2nd down and 14. Back to the 30. Tavon Austin going in motion to the right and gets the pass on a wide receiver screen, trying to cut inside. Another penalty is down, and Austin may have a 1st down depending on where the snap is, but they threw a flag back at the 30.
They're going to get Tim Barnes with the block in the back. Navarro Bowman diagnoses this right away, gets downhill, is in front of him. Barnes clips him.
Illegal block in the back. Offense, number 61. 10-yard penalty. Replay.
Boy, you look at
2nd
film
down.
a lot, don't you? You remember this when you were in there with Coach Coughlin looking at film. You spotted this stuff.
I also remember trying to run Navarro Bowman down in these screens as well. He's so smart. He uses his eyes, is able to beat Tim Barnes to the point of attack, because as an offensive lineman, you're thinking to try to get flattened up, but he had the perfect angle to make that play and get the penalty.
So 2 consecutive penalties against the Rams puts them in a big hole. 2nd down and 24 back at the 30. 2nd and 14. Foles screens it out to Mason. And Mason is knocked out of bounds. Actually, he remains in bounds as Jimmy Ward makes the tackle.
We just said Navarro Bowman on the last screen, same thing. He knows that they're going to go underneath. Is able to diagnose it, go in and add on with the tackle. You got to give Navarro Bowman so much credit from coming back from that horrific knee injury. 2nd in the NFL right now in tackles.
Boy, you wonder whether he would ever come back after that horrific injury. But playing terrific ball now. 3rd down and 8. Incomplete to Stedman Bailey. And it'll be 4th down. So once again, the Rams don't get anything going. Foles has completed 6 of 11 for only 47 yards.
This is the exact game plan that Eric Mangini dialed up for this 49ers defense. He wants to be aggressive. He wanted to stop Gurley early, and he wants to force Nick Foles to beat them.
Bruce Ellington is back as Hecker with the punt. At the 23 is Ellington. Ellington turning the corner. And going out of bounds outside the 30-yard line. So we have the 2 lowest scoring teams in the NFL, and lo and behold, it's a 3-2 game. Still early in the second. And reflecting the fact that these teams, paltry scores to say the least. The 49ers last at just under 15 points a game, and the Rams not that much better. 1st and 10 at the 32. 49ers ball and play action. Kaepernick is being chased and completes the pass, probably back to the line of scrimmage to Quinton Patton, and good pass rush from Eugene Sims. Kaepernick started the final 7 games of 2012, led the 49ers to the Super Bowl, and then the NFC Championship game where they lost to Seattle. Won 2 playoff games. Missed the playoffs for the first time in his career, and the offense have really struggled, as we're seeing it firsthand, but the Rams also having big problems. But the 49ers off to a 2-5 start. 2nd down and 10 from the 32. Kaepernick looking, drills it, and the pass is incomplete off the hands of Torrey Smith. Another penalty flag thrown at the 42.
I think it's going to be a pass interference on Trumaine Johnson or Joyner. They had the crossing route with Garrett Selleck, and I think he got tackled. That was the first read that Colin Kaepernick made.
Holding. Defense number 20. 5-yard penalty. Automatic 1st down.
So Joyner is holding, and that's an automatic 1st down. And at this point, David Deal, the Rams with a chance to win this game and really take command haven't done that so far. They haven't moved the ball, and we've seen the Rams in this way before.
They played to their competition. When it's a big game, the Seahawks, the Arizona Cardinals, when there's so much invested in it, they're riding high. This is one of those games that it's been a flat one. They need somebody to step up and change momentum for their side and their sidelines, because right now there's zero energy.
Meanwhile, for the 49ers, they have a 1st down after the penalty on the 37, and the pass is drilled, and it's off the back of the defender, T.J. McDonald. Or Mark Barron, actually, was downfield covering. Very versatile linebacker, and Vernon Davis was the target. You thought they would go to Vernon Davis a lot more than they have so far?
You know what? You knew going into this one that they had to get the tight end involved, because Gary Barnidge for the Browns had over 100 yards receiving last week, and that's something that this Rams defense has struggled against, is a good tight end.
2nd and 10. They've got 2 tight ends in there now. Mike Davis is tackled hard right at the line of scrimmage by Mark Barron. Boy, what Barron has done with Alec Ogletree out has been terrific.
He most certainly has. You watch Mark Barron here. He's diagnosing it from the backside. He sees that tight end and McDonald coming to the front side, is able to beat him to the point, run underneath it, and come up with a nice tackle for a loss.
By the way, Ogletree is eligible to come back in 8 weeks. But Barron has more than filled the bill. 3rd down and 10. Another penalty.
Neutral zone infraction. Defense number 99. 5-yard penalty. Still 3rd down.
Aaron Donald. So if it had been 5 yards or less, it would have been a 1st down, but they needed 11, so it'll be 3rd down and 6. Kaepernick so far, 5 of 12 for 39 yards. Kaepernick putting it up for Simpson, and the ball knocked away. Simpson ready to make the play, and Trumaine Johnson was there and knocked it away from Simpson. Incomplete. 4th down and another punting situation.
Sees that it's a one-on-one outside. Sees a single high safety. Jerome Simpson, who hasn't played, you've got to maximize your opportunity. That one hits you right in the hands. When your team needs you to come up with a big play, you've got to make that catch.
So there's Austin. You wonder who's going to be the player on either side that's really going to break one. I'm going to let this one bounce, and it'll be down by the 49ers at the 27-yard line. What's going to break open this 3-2 pitchers duel we have? That's what it is, folks, a pitchers duel. About 5 minutes.
Today's game is sponsored by FanDuel, the leader in one-week fantasy football.
We have had almost twice as many penalties as first downs so far in this game. The Rams starting from their 29. Todd Gurley back in the game, and here's what the Rams wanted from him. Todd Gurley. Touchdown. Who's going to be the player to break out and be the spark? Try Todd Gurley. 71 yards for the touchdown. Never touched, and the Rams take the lead.
You're going to see Garrett Selleck, the pulling guard, lead the way, get up for the block. This is just downhill power. This is smash mouth football. Good blocks at the point of attack to give Gurley that spring. All you got to do is give him that seam, showing his explosiveness and his ability to take every single one that he gets to the house.
So Todd Gurley, who scored his first 2 NFL touchdowns last week, and he has had 4 runs or 45 yards or more, and now the Rams are going for the 2-point conversion. That's the longest play of the year for the Rams. 8-3.
These are the ones that you have to be aware, not only of Gurley, but these 2 tight ends, Cook and Kendricks.
It's going to be a play action, and Foles' pass caught by the tight end. Drawn up by David Deal, the left tackle, Jared Cook. And the 2-point conversion, but how about the 71-yard touchdown run by the rookie from Georgia? And my partner, boy, I like his playbook. Todd Gurley starting to make history, and he told us the other day, he says, it really hit me to be in the NFL when I played in Green Bay and I saw Julius Peppers on the other side. I'm a North Carolina native, and here I am playing against Julius Peppers, who I idolized, and I had a pretty good game against him as well. And Gurley continues this storybook rookie year and gives the Cardinals the lead on a 71-yard touchdown run.
I sure know that feeling. I'm a 21-year-old rookie starting at right guard, and my first time in the huddle, I'm looking at Kerry Collins, Tiki Barber, Amani Toomer, Jeremy Shockey. I'm like, wow, this is for real.
You know, there's always that moment of truth that comes to you, right, David? Where
Yes.
you say, I now know where I am.
But more importantly, you know, even as a rookie, there is no excuses for mistakes.
Bruce Ellington will run it out of the end zone for the 49ers. And good coverage, and a flag is down. Another penalty. Mark Barron makes the tackle on the 16-yard line, but there's a flag here.
During the return, holding, return team, number 49. Half the distance to the goal. San Francisco keeps the ball. First down.
And that's the fullback, Bruce Miller, so they're going to mark half the distance.
Well, you're thinking about this game. This first quarter has taken an hour, but that 71-yard play only took 10 seconds to put this Rams offense, give them some life, put them ahead right now in this game. But now we got to see moving forward, how are the 49ers offense going to respond?
And they're not in good shape to start it off on the 8-yard line. The pass is batted down by Akeem Ayers, the linebacker, and that'll bring up second down. So this is an opportunity for this vaunted defense for the Rams to really do something here with the 49ers backed up against their goal line.
They really are. This is when they want to be aggressive. You know, Greg Williams will run blitz zero anytime. They want to attack down the A-gaps through the middle of the pocket just to get in the face of Colin Kaepernick to see if he'll throw one of those balls across the middle and get another takeaway for this defense.
Play action. Kaepernick in trouble. And down he goes at the 5-yard line. Michael Brockers, who got the safety earlier, tackling Mike Davis. Hayes put the pressure on. That's what David's going to tell me. Hayes made it possible for Brockers to get the tackle.
Well, Hayes out here knows that he has to be disciplined. He's got to maintain that contain. He sees the fullback first, Miller, but then he says, okay, I've got to get Colin Kaepernick back in the pocket where our defensive line are coming from. Brockers is able to shed the block, come up with the sack.
They're down in 13. Kaepernick has been sacked at least once in every game this year. Last year, in a game against the Rams, he was sacked 8 times. Third down and 13. The quick going out to Vernon Davis, and not much he can do. They'll be about 8 or 9 yards shy of the first down. Mark Barron on the coverage. A loss of 3, and the 49ers will have to punt from the end zone.
You knew that they were going to be conservative, giving up the safety earlier. They weren't going to try to press it, do anything. They just wanted to move it forward again. But, I mean, their punter right now, Pinion, is in the back of the end zone trying to kick it out of here. And you know that this Rams punt team is ready to try to block this one.
Tavon Austin practically at midfield. And the Niners do a good job of keeping the Rams out, and the ball will bounce on the San Francisco side of the field and is down. The Rams will have the ball, and they're going to mark it inside the 50, I believe. Well, coming up next, it's America's Game of the Week. Russell Wilson leads the Seahawks into Dallas to take on a Cowboys team seeking their first win since Tony Romo was injured. The action continues next right here on Fox and streaming live on Fox Sports Go. Penalty.
Ineligible player downfield. Kicking team, number 49. The 5-yard penalty will be attached to the end of the run. First down.
So Bruce Miller, who had the illegal blocker hold on the return moments ago, and now ineligible downfield. That's the 3rd special teams penalty on Miller. So the Rams creeping up now will have it at the 39-yard line of the 49ers. Last 5 drives, not much for the Rams, and then Gurley went on a tear. 71 yards for the score. First down in a 10-3 lead. Here's Todd Gurley again, and he is wrestled down from behind by Navarro Bowman. But he picks up 3.
Navarro Bowman is all over the football field today. And this is what you expect from this veteran. He's a leader. He gets everybody lined up. But the interior offensive line for the Rams have got to get to him at the point of attack, or he's going to be making these plays all day.
Second down and 7. And on the screen, here's Gurley as a receiver, and he's going to pick up the first down as he regained his footing. Tough to bring him down. Jimmy Ward, former #1 draft pick, missed the tackle for the 49ers, and Gurley ends up with 15 yards on the pass and run.
Once again, going back to the no huddle, getting right to the line of scrimmage and shotgun.
So it'll be first down on the 21 now for the Rams, who started with the short field on this possession. Pressure coming in, picked up, and the pass to Gurley. And this time, making no mistake, is Jaquiski Tartt as he holds on as Gurley is wheeled out of bounds. Well, the most rushing yards in the first career games, Todd Gurley right now is 5th. And only 2 yards behind Julius Jones. He'll go out and get a breather, well-deserved, and Trey Mason replaces him for St. Louis. 2nd and 10. Here's Mason. And he picks up a yard. Mike Hill has a game break for us. Let's check in with Mike now.
Yeah, not good news for the Steelers. They just got back Big Ben. Can't afford another injury. And how about this one? Le'Veon Bell going down, clutching his right knee. Had to be carted off. Would be a big blow for Steeler Nation. Dick, Dave, back to you.
All right, not good news indeed, Mike, for the Steelers. 3rd down and 9. Already in field goal range for sure. Rams want more. And here's Foles going into the end zone. And it is tipped away and out of bounds. Let's see. Trumaine Brock was defending against Kenny Britt, and they ruled that it was out. Britt did not have both feet in the end zone. Or was it picked off?
Catches it, but are his feet in? No. Look at his right foot. You can see it's outside on the white lines.
So now the field goal attempt by Zuerlein. 38-yard attempt. Zuerlein's kick is good. He's hit a few posts this year. Now 9 of 14 on the year, and the field goal adds to the Ram lead. They're up now 13-3. 13-3, the Rams lead the 49ers. Rams trying to win back-to-back games for the first time this year and go to 4-3 on the year. Colin Kaepernick, 6 for 15 for 41 yards thus far. Rams defense, Todd Gurley. That's what they've been relying on. Defense getting a safety. Gurley running 71 yards for a touchdown, the only one of the game. Zuerlein would be kicking off, and Ellington is back. They also have Quentin Patton as well. And the 49ers will take it out on the 20-yard line. So what's happened right now is the fact that the Rams, after a terminable time, with penalties, everything, starting to assert themselves.
Well, they have. You've got to give a lot of credit to the 49ers defense for the start that they had, but they can only do it for so long before Gurley breaks one. It's time for their offense and Colin Kaepernick to do something to help this defense so that they're not out on the football field, and they've got to put points on the board, plain and simple.
First down from the 20 is Mike Davis. Not been able to run the ball. So far, the 49ers have gained 13 yards on the ground, 91 for the Rams, 71, of course, coming on the touchdown run. 49ers still have the edge in time of possession, and that's something that Jeff Fisher was concerned about coming into this game. It'll be 2nd down and 8. Handoff again to Davis, the rookie from South Carolina, and Aaron Donald is there, and a gain of 1.
Really struggling on that right side. This Rams defensive line is getting penetration in the backfield, so the offensive linemen are on different levels, so they're not able to seal things at the point of attack. And the backs are really trying to find a hole, but it's been tough for them because they really haven't been in it.
Not a capacity crowd, but they're a vocal crowd here for the Rams, who are hoping to keep their team in St. Louis. 3rd down and 7 for Kaepernick. 49ers converted 1 of 8 3rd downs, and there's the slant, and it's going to be a 1st down. Vernon Davis. Only the 2nd time they have targeted Vernon Davis in the game, and he picks up the 1st down, getting 11.
You know, Vernon Davis is the player that we've been waiting to get. He had 6 targets last week with 4 catches, but he's the player that can really open things up. You see him just running the quick inside slant, able to catch the ball, use his size, and get upfield. At one point, he was the most feared tight end in the NFL. With Bolden out, get him more involved, open things up, and if they're going to take him away, get it to your other tight ends.
He hasn't caught a touchdown pass yet this year. It's going to be a play action, and Kaepernick with time stepping up, and this pass, and it is caught by Quentin Patton. And that's the longest play from scrimmage for the 49ers in this one. Patton in his third year from Louisiana Tech, and the 49ers into Ram territory now.
Nice ball by Colin Kaepernick. He seems Laurinaitis and Barron and everybody running from the inside over. Puts it right over the top. Patton able to come up with the catch.
33-yard pickup, and spinning is Mike Davis to the 30-yard line, picking up about 4. Remember Reggie Bush, if you've just joined us, on a punt return, slipped going out of bounds and slid into the wall and was carted off the field with a knee injury. Jared Hayne, the Australian rugby star, was released. Kendall Gaskins was brought in. Mike Davis, though, has carried the ball mostly for the 49ers. 2nd and 7. And there is Davis again. Vernon Davis. So he's getting a heavy dose of him. James Laurinaitis making the tackle after a gain of 8.
Working across the grain, getting another shallow crossing route, just get him in open space, creating that mismatch. But look at the difference. 850 yards since, 415. But look at the 13 touchdowns in 13, only 2 since.
Torrey Smith is the lone receiver, split out to the left. And here's Kaepernick with the drill, tipped up, incomplete, and nearly intercepted. There were 3 Rams right where the ball was on the pass intended for Vance McDonald. And when you know you have those deflections and the ball's hanging, it's there for the taking.
Throws it across the middle. See the tip ball. They work on that every single day at practice, but when you got 3 guys going for it, it's tough to come up with it.
Trumaine Johnson shaken up, and he comes out of the game. There's Johnson, who has 2 interceptions this year. This is the 8th play of the drive for the 49ers. Johnson still hurting, as you can see. 2nd down and 10 on the 22 of St. Louis. Out to Mike Davis in the flat, spinning his way, and a flag goes down. Let's see if there's a late hit here on the Rams. Akeem Ayers was defending. And if it is, it would be an automatic first down, of course, for San Francisco.
After the play was over, personal foul, unnecessary roughness, defense, number 56, half the distance to the goal, automatic, first down.
That's the call.
You see Mike Davis spin out of it, but right there, he's on the white. Akeem Ayers comes and lays that extra hit. You know the officials are going to call that one right away. Right now, the penalties for the Rams have kept this drive going for the San Francisco 49ers.
That's discipline for you. So the 2-yard catch and the 10-yard penalty, and a 1st and goal at the 9. Kaepernick has his target, Vernon Davis, but the Rams are there and pick up about 3 on the play. As we wind down to 3 minutes to go in the first half, Maurice Alexander, number 31, who replaced Trumaine Johnson in the defensive backfield for the Rams, making the play.
Miss Quentin Patton. I see him going for the check down, but look at Quentin Patton in the end zone.
You think he wanted the ball? I'm not sure about his actions there. Were you open, Quentin? 2nd down and goal. Play action again. Here's Kaepernick, and holding on is Davis, but he gets hit by Maurice Alexander. How about Alexander in the last 2 plays as a sub coming in for injury?
Well, if you notice at the defensive line, what they're doing is they're making sure with their defensive ends, they're jamming. You see William Hayes give that push, so Vernon Davis can't really get upfield. But nice, solid tackle, coming down, getting the hat across the bow, making sure he gets him down.
No gain on the play, and they're going to go to the sideline. The 2-minute warning is coming up, and the 49ers want to make sure trailing by 10 points. 2-minute warning here in the first half here in St. Louis, with the Rams leading the 49ers 13-3. Get apps, videos, and more at itunes.com/NFL. 2 minutes remaining in the first half. Garrett Sellett leaving the field with an injury. And here is Kaepernick, and unable to hold on is Bruce Miller. Boy, he's had a rough first half, hasn't he?
That penalties, a drop there, and this has been their Achilles heel. They've gotten opportunities. They've had 20 drives into the red zone, but they've only scored 7 touchdowns, with the 30th in the NFL. So when you're on the road in a game, in a division, and you know that in the second half you're going to be kicking the football off, you've got to come up with a touchdown to get your team back into this football game.
So the field goal try by Dawson. Kicked a 54-yarder earlier. And the 49ers miss a golden chance to get a touchdown. And Dawson's kick is good. A 26-yarder makes it 13-6. So we have a minute 53 to go in the first half. Let's check in now with Curt Menefee.
Coming up on the Visa halftime, Big Ben makes his return against the undefeated Bengals. The Lions look lousy in London, and Keenan Allen looks to provide a bolt of energy to the Chargers offense. We'll see you at the half.
You know, the Rams defense doing a terrific job. Keep in mind that they have allowed only 2 touchdowns at home on defense, and only 8 touchdowns, the best in the league. So they keep that relatively clean by stopping the 49ers and holding them to a field goal there. Benny Cunningham, his longest kick return, 39 yards. Bradley Pinion will set it in motion. Rams have 2 timeouts remaining. Lost one as a result of the challenge which went against Jeff Fisher. And this kick to the back of the end zone. And so St. Louis will start at the 20-yard line. Nick Foles, 8 of 14 for 62 yards. Their leading receiver so far has been Tavon Austin with 3 catches, but number 30, Todd Gurley, with a 71-yard touchdown run. Really a spectacular play, and that's what he's done in his rookie year, brief rookie year so far. Just 10 yards Gurley has achieved, short of what the 49ers have done on offense.
Oh yeah, we got 50.
Okay.
They fake the Gurley and the end around to Tavon Austin. You know, you use Gurley and Austin. One is a fake in the same play. And Tremaine Brock, another flag on the play. Already 13 penalties.
While the player was out of bounds, after the play was over, personal foul, unnecessary roughness. Defense, number 26, with a shove to the face. 15-yard penalty, automatic, first down.
At the end, after he wraps him up, it gives him a little extra push right there. That's what they get him for.
You know, David, I know this is a big rivalry, and James Laurinaitis talking about how much they really dislike
We also have a sideline warning.
the 49ers, but the discipline has been lacking big time on both sides.
It really has. The amount of penalties that we've had in this game, 8 for the 49ers, 6 for the Rams. I mean, this is not what you expect in a division game, especially for St. Louis, who are undefeated in the division and are hopefully trying to press forward.
So 22 yards in all, the 7-yard run plus the 15-yard penalty. And a first down. This time they're going to hand off to Gurley. Gurley brings it out to the 45-yard line, picking up 4 yards. Eli Harold on the stop.
They have some time here. You know, they have their 2 timeouts. They lost one with the Jeff Fisher challenge, but they've got a nice pace here. They're moving the football. You're expecting at some point here that they're going to take a shot downfield.
Or hand off to Gurley and have him run for the touchdown. Second down and 6. They're going to hand off to Gurley. And look at him charge toward the first down yardage. We have another penalty. And Gurley is 1 yard short of the first down, tackled at midfield. Glenn Dorsey defending for the 49ers.
Illegal use of hands. Defense, number 58.
Well, that's
5-yard penalty.
going to give the
First down.
Rams a first down, illegal use of the hands.
Well, the 49ers defense was able to slow Todd Gurley down in the first quarter. They're able to eat up at the point of attack. They're able to stuff things. But sure enough, they gave him that seam. And what did he do? He took it for 71 yards to the house. So this offensive line knows if they just give him that little bit of seam, if they open up that hole, they're able to get up to the second level. Todd Gurley will do the rest.
On the 45, and here is Gurley, and they're going to get him from behind for no gain. Quentin Dial. And another penalty flag down throw.
Quentin Dial, once again, at the point of attack is so stout. They're going to get Garrett Reynolds with the hold there. He has him wrapped
Holding.
up.
Offense, number 73. 10-yard penalty. Still first down.
Wow, they got Robinson. I thought they were going to call it on Garrett.
This is a young, as you pointed out, David, inexperienced offensive line featuring two rookies, Jamon Brown from Louisville, the third pick, and Rob Havenstein from Wisconsin manning the right side. But this was called on Robinson, who's gotten off to a good start in his career.
He really has. But you said it, this group altogether combined, only 73 starts. That's the fewest in the NFL.
First down and 20. Foles has some time, and the pass is caught by Jared Cook. Still 12 yards short of the first down. Gets 8 there with under a minute remaining in the first half. Rams still have those 2 timeouts left. Cunningham, and now they're going to go to Tavon Austin deep, and covered by Kenneth Acker. Overthrown. And another penalty on the far side near midfield. I'd say there's nearly a penalty on every play.
Illegal formation. Offense. Both receivers were not on the line of scrimmage. 5-yard penalty. Replay second down.
And I guess they must be earned, David.
They most certainly have to be earned, because right now you're trying to move forward. You've got a 2-minute drill. You're getting yourself on the plus side, but penalty after penalty, you can't do it, and you can't expect success when you do that.
17 total penalties thus far. And we're late in the second quarter, 39 seconds remaining. Second down and 17. Foles' pass, and it's open to the tight end, Jared Cook. Gets away from a defender and is tackled at the 2-yard line. And another injured 49er, at least for the second, getting up slowly. That'll be 49 yards. And Kenneth Acker shaken up, started to get up, and then went down again. So Kendricks cast in all. That was Jared Cook. Both tight ends getting it done today for the Rams.
See Eric Mangini, he's going to bring pressure. What does that do? Allows Cook to work right through the numbers, gets right behind the defenders, and is able to get right into that window.
Tough to bring down.
Injury timeout.
And
San
Jared
Francisco.
Cook, the second leading receiver coming into this game.
This is their first for the injury.
49ers charged with a timeout because of the injury to Acker. And walking off and now running off on his own power is Kenneth Acker, the cornerback.
Todd Gurley walking back in the huddle. Like I stated earlier, 15 yards in the first quarter. But second quarter, 83 yards and a touchdown with that long 71-yard touchdown run on the power play.
In his 3 starts, he has gained 146, 159, and 128 yards.
And you hear the Gurley chants in the stadium.
He's got 98 yards right now. There you see the goal-to-go numbers. First and goal at the 3. Swing it out to Gurley. And he's going to be knocked out of bounds by Ahmad Brooks. 2 flags are down now inside the 10.
They're going to get Gurley with the face mask, going for the stiff arm.
And another 49er is shaken up.
There's 2 of them.
Quentin Dial is hurt.
I think the first one's Gurley with the stiff arm with the face mask, and then the second one is the horse collar.
Personal foul, face mask, defense number 55.
Wow.
Ahmad
Half
Brooks.
the distance to the goal, replay, first down.
And that's
San Francisco is charged its second timeout for the injury to number 92.
So another timeout charged to the 49ers. They have 1 left.
See, I thought that they were going to get Gurley. See, Gurley first grabbed the face mask. And there's the horse collar.
Looked like he was going for the mask, and maybe he missed inadvertently. Want to remind you that coming up, Visa halftime. So the ball now at the 2-yard line. Tony Girard-Eddy has replaced Quentin Dial up front for the 49ers. The Rams defense has been outstanding at home, and they're trying to open up a big margin. They've allowed just 2 field goals, trying to get their second touchdown here. Tavon Austin diving. Did he make it? No signal.
Well, the official got knocked down by Ahmad Brooks.
But he has the help from the back judge. Touchdown. Tavon Austin. Well, that play is money for the Rams, isn't it?
It really is. They get him on the jet sweep, just showing his speed and athleticism, knows exactly where the marker is, where to stretch out and get that ball past. Great play by Tavon Austin.
And they're going to look at this one as well, as they always do on a scoring play.
It's a touchdown.
And it is been confirmed. Touchdown by Austin. 2-yard touchdown run. And now Greg Zuerlein trying to add the 20th point with 18 seconds to go in the first half. Zuerlein's been perfect this year, remains so, and the Rams have a 20-6 lead over the 49ers with 18 seconds remaining in the first half.
It's a touchdown because it crosses the plane first before it touches the pylon. It gets it across, then touches the pylon. If it touches the pylon first, that's out of bounds.
But he went around there.
Yep.
Second touchdown as a runner for Austin. He has 3 as a receiver, so 5 on the year for Tavon Austin. Ahmad Brooks and his 49er defense, which did more than hold their own early in the game, David, but as you know, in the game of football, as you look at the scoring drive, it's a war of attrition.
It really is, and they've held up in the first quarter, and they've done their best. They've been leaning on their offense to give them some support, which they haven't done yet.
Bruce Ellington will go back to return the kick with help from Patton. And Bruce Ellington will run this one out. And gets hit. What a jarring hit at the 22-yard line by T.J. McDonald. So the physical play by the Rams, and we saw it early on the safety, continues.
Says a lot to your football team when your starting safety is running out there and making tackles on special teams. And that's one thing that you see from all these players going up to Coach Fossil, their special teams coach, because they want to be on these groups.
This is a big game for the Rams. As far as the division race is concerned, trying to go to 4-3. Cleveland is leading Arizona, by the way, 20-6 at halftime, and we now go to Kurt Menefee in Los Angeles for the Visa halftime report, which starts
This is
now.
the end of the first half.
And today's excitement is brought to you by Nissan. And that was today's excitement brought to you by Nissan. And so Austin has a touchdown and the Rams lead at 20-6. They will get the second half kickoff. And you think right now, David, that the Rams are where they want to be in this game, coming in with a chance to win 2 in a row for the first time this year.
They really do have the opportunity to be 2-0, but they have to play more discipline. You talk about the San Francisco 49ers. They're young and inexperienced. But when you talk about the St. Louis Rams, they're young, but they are experienced. They've played a lot of football together. And Jeff Fisher was thinking the same thing that you were at halftime. He was right in the middle of the huddle, rallying everybody around him, calling people out, knowing that if they want to show that they are the true contenders in the NFC West, they've got to prove it this second half.
Kenny Cunningham will run it from the 4-yard line. They got off to a slow start. Safety brought him back in the game, and this was Jeff Fisher just moments before the kick.
Here he is, challenging his teammates. You saw him doing it earlier, pointing people out, saying we need to rally and play better this second half and play more disciplined, sound football.
Rams have 225 yards in total offense, slow to start. 21st year as head coach, and he said time of possession, which he trails right now, would be important, at least to keep his defense off the field and give them a breather. So it'll be first down at the 17. Handoff is to Todd Gurley up the middle, and Gurley getting close to 9 yards as we send it down to Christina Pink.
Hey, Dick, you just mentioned the time of possession. I asked Jeff Fisher about that at halftime. They certainly want to control the clock, but if you can get 71 yards in one play, 10 seconds, they'll take the big plays. He also said to stick with the ground game. They got to do better on third down, but they're controlling the Niners by basically throwing different looks at Colin Kaepernick, but they want to keep with that defensive effort and aggressiveness here in the second half.
The disguises always pay off against a young team. Thank you, Christina. And here is Gurley getting the first down out to the 29-yard line. Todd Gurley now over 100 yards rushing, 106 in the game, averaging just over 9 yards a clip. Of course, as we said, 71 coming on the one run.
2 runs in a row, and once again, the St. Louis Rams offense going back to this no huddle, up tempo, get to the line of scrimmage, get fast, get going.
Again, Gurley. And Gurley picks up about 2.5, 3 yards on the play. 49ers did a good job against him early on, David.
They really did. In the first quarter, they held them to 15 yards. Stout at the point of attack. The outside linebackers, Lynch and Brooks, maintained control to force everything inside out. They've got to do it now in the second half, because now you see that they're unleashing Gurley.
Second down and 7. Read option, and Foles overthrows Austin. Time for a game break, and let's check in with Mike Hill in L.A. Mike.
Hey, you guys got a great rookie there in Todd Gurley. Another rookie starting to come into his own. Jameis Winston botched play, but decides to do it himself. His second career rushing touchdown, and look at the Bucs on top of the Falcons, 20-3 in the third.
You know, this is a team that was down 20 or up 24-0 against the Redskins, blew the lead, and sometimes when teams are almost rock bottom, they come back with an effort. We'll see if that continues. Meanwhile, the Rams, who are 0 for 5 on third down conversions, need 7 yards on this play. Here comes the pressure up the middle, and Foles answers, and this pass is incomplete not controlled out of bounds to Tavon Austin. So now they come up empty again on third down. They're now 0 for 7 and will have to kick.
Eric Mangini ratcheting up the pressure, brings Navarro Bowman on that one. Nick Foles knows that he has to release the football, puts it in the perfect spot for Tavon Austin, who's unable to catch it and convert that third down.
Bruce Ellington back at the 20-yard line to receive the punt from Johnny Hecker. Fair catch. And Hecker has it at the 17. So the 49ers do the job on the first possession of the second half. Let's see what their offense can do with Kaepernick coming out.
Today's game is sponsored by Southwest. Transparency, low fares, nothing to hide. By Burger King, introducing new Buffalo chicken fries, a better way to Buffalo. By Chevrolet, find new roads. And by Geico, 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
And kids in St. Louis, Halloween last night. It's right around the corner, only 364 more days before Halloween is upon us.
We had a little frozen princess right there.
Yeah.
I know with my 8-year-old daughter Addison, I can identify that one right away.
She's terrific. They're going to call this a incomplete pass to Quinton Patton. Take a look at the first half summary, and we have a first. The most penalties accepted combined, both teams in the NFL this season in the first half, 18. Now 2 for 16 on third down after the Rams did not convert. You've got a couple of challenges, a safety, but Gurley holding center stage with that great run.
Just shows you what kind of first half it was. Usually our first half summary are all stats of what's happening on the football field, not penalties.
And the pass to Vernon Davis. Keem Ayers is there. And so the Rams defense, and it all started with getting that safety. They were trailing 3-0. And then the safety, Crocker's getting credit. And then we have an injured 49er leaving the field. That's Keith Reeser, special teams player. It'll be third down and 9. Cobb looking for the stop here from the 18. Kaepernick. And the pass is going to be caught, and they rule it short of the first down. Jerome Simpson with the catch. And I wonder where the spot's going to be. It looked when the catch was made that the feet were beyond the sticks.
And this is where the inexperience of Jerome Simpson comes up, because you got to get it to the sticks. But look at up front. They run the stunt. They bring Robert Quinn all around. The offensive line is able to maintain, hold at the point, see that Colin Kaepernick can make his read and get it to Jerome Simpson.
It is a first down, so he did it right. And now Jeff Fisher throws the challenge flag. And it's kind for Jerome Boger to pick it up and give it back to
St. Louis
the head coach.
is challenging the rule of the field of a first down.
And they're challenging this, and this is the second challenge. Jeff Fisher already lost one. So he can be out of challenges. Jeff Fisher has challenged this pass, saying that not a first down. And here's Jerome Boger with the call. We got Mike
After
Pereira.
reviewing the play, the rule on the field has been reversed to short of the line of scrimmage. It'll be second down at the 26 and
Mike,
1/2 yard line.
During the break, you
St.
kind of
Louis is
indicated
not
that this would
charged
be the call.
a timeout, but they are charged their second challenge. And we'll have no more challenges for the remainder of the game.
Mike, what did you see?
Yeah, Dick, here's the situation here. He's not contacted by the defender, so he gets no forward progress. He's going back to his own goal line on his own. So really the play's not over until he hits out of bounds here. He got both toes down. It was a catch, and they were correct in ruling that. There's no forward progress on this play whatsoever.
Thank you, Mike. That's interesting, and we may be seeing that on the review that we get during the course of the week, because it could be deceptive, don't you think?
Yes, it certainly can. You know, you think his feet, but once again, Mike pointed out, where is the ball? No contact, and by the time he rolls out, he is a yard short.
So instead of a first down, it is 4th and 1, and Bradley Pinion kicking it away for the 49ers. There's Tavon Austin backtracking to the 9. Here's Austin. gets hit once. Flag is down. 2 flags. Austin still on his feet and now wrestled out of bounds by Vance McDonald.
They're going to get Cameron Lynch, number 50, with the block in the back. He's trying to screen, but you know when you can't make that block, turn up and get upfield.
Illegal block in the back. Return team, number 50. Half the distance to the goal. St. Louis keeps the ball.
You saw
First down.
Cameron Lynch. Well, Fox Sports Supports is proud to team up with the Movember Foundation in their commitment to changing the face of men's health. Join us at MoTeamCO Fox Sports. MoTeam.co/Fox-Sports to learn more about how we are getting involved in the Movember movement.
Jeff Fisher got to jump on it with that mustache, and so did Jim Tomsula.
Yeah, I would think. He'll start now from the 8. Todd Gurley crosses the 10-yard line. It'll be second down.
But this is where this young, inexperienced offensive line loves having a back like Todd Gurley, because what is it allowing them to do? It is allowing them to be physical, and it's allowing them to wear down this front of the San Francisco 49ers. And this is where Gurley in the fourth quarter has had the most rushing yards in the NFL.
Tavon Austin lining up in the backfield now behind Nick Foles. And he gets the call straight ahead, first down. And Tavon Austin out to the 23 and a first down, picking up 13. And for a game break, let's check in again with Mike Hill.
Sure, Rams fans are interested in this one. Cardinals once down 20-7 have come all the way back. Carson Palmer to his tight end Troy Nicolas, his second of the day. Cardinals on top now, 24-20. Dick, David, back to you.
All right, Mike, thank you very much. So Arizona leading, and of course later in America's Game of the Week, Seahawks and the Cowboys battle out. And the Rams right now are just ahead of the Seahawks in second place in the NFC West. Todd Gurley back in there on a first down. And here is Gurley. And look at Gurley take about 2 or 3 tacklers and a gain of 7. Bowman on the tackle.
Dick, I want to go back 2 plays, because what they're doing is not only at the point of attack are they doing it, but they're getting every single tight end involved. Look at Kendricks coming to the front side, leading it, getting that block at the point of attack, and springing Nate Austin. This is what they have to continue to do. They're getting their tight ends involved. They're doing Harkey on that second play that they just had. So they're not only getting at the point of attack by the offensive lineman, each one of these tight ends are helping out as well.
Well, you said at the beginning of the game they got to use Gurley, yes, but Tavon Austin, those are the 2 weapons they have. Speaking of weapons, here's Todd Gurley again. He has the first down, and he goes underneath a tunnel, getting out to the 37 for 7 more yards. Bowman on the tackle. And the beat goes on for the Rams here. Good possession. They started inside their 5.
Staying consistent with the run game, staying with it, and each one they're gaining more and more yards. This is where it pays dividends in the fourth quarter.
So Gurley now with 130 yards rushing. Averaging 8 yards a clip. First down. Foles quickly out, and the pass is caught by Brian Quick. First catch of the game for Quick, gets it to the 44, picking up 5. Foles has helped his average lately with those short passes. He's now 11 for 19 for 117 yards. Neither quarterback has thrown a touchdown pass or an interception. Second and 5. Gurley pushed back and finally tripped up. Good play by Kenneth Acker, who was shaken up earlier, and Aaron Lynch with good penetration, making it more difficult for Gurley, who gets a 5-yard loss.
Talk about an impact player. Gurley's done so much for this football team, not only on the offensive side of the ball, but he's been able to provide not only energy-wise, but his running style, giving this defense a rest.
He's getting a rest right now, and Benny Cunningham replaces him on 3rd and 9. Stedman Bailey going in motion and then back. Foles flush from the pocket, and now he throws it away. Good defense that time by the 49ers on third down. Arik Armstead, the rookie from Oregon, making his presence felt.
One of the things that they said is they've got to get Nick Foles off the spot. This time they only rush 4. They run the TE at the top of the screen, which flushes him. Arik Armstead, their first rounder, is able to run it down and get that big hit. Once again, coverage as well. They just stick to it.
Johnny Hekker with the high kick, sending Ellington back. Bounces at the 5. The Rams are there, and they're going to down it. Did they? Yes, they did. They nearly saw it go by the boards. Cody Davis almost fumbled that into the end zone for a touchback. They're joking about it now, but Davis does a great job of downing it at the 1 after the 61-yard punt by Johnny Hekker. Almost, but not quite.
Today's Game on Fox is sponsored by Cialis.
They spot the ball at the 2-yard line, and that's where the 49ers will have first down. 7:42 remaining in the third. Mike Davis has an injury to his hand, so Kendall Gaskins, the only healthy running back they have, gets the call and picks up a yard. Robert Quinn is there for the tackle.
They're lucky they're getting it out because this is the exact same spot on the football field where they had the safety in the first half.
So Mike Davis out with the hand injury. Carlos Hyde with a stress fracture of the foot. Reggie Bush went out on a punt return slide into the wall with a knee injury. So Kendall Gaskins, who was activated last night, playing his first NFL game, getting the call, and he carries it out to the 5, where it'll be third down.
You know, this is going to put Tom Rathman, their running backs coach, in a tough position. They may have to break out the old 4-4 and put him back out on the football field.
He looks good.
Because this is the last spot where they can, on their roster, have this amount of injuries is at the running back position.
Gaskins, who originally signed to Buffalo and then spent time with Tennessee in the practice squad and then the New York Giants. Third down and 7. Tough spot for Kaepernick here. Quick pass and deflected by Robert Quinn at the line, and it looked like the Rams were coming in, and that pass was off the mark. They would have had an easy pick 6.
They only rush 4 on that one like they normally do in third down because they can get that pressure. But Robert Quinn sees Colin Kaepernick pull up. What do? He gets his hands up.
So it's fourth down, and Bradley Pinion will be punting to Tavon Austin. 7th punt coming up for Pinion. Austin trying to give the Rams the ball, and they try to block this one. And Austin on his own 49, looking for running room, and now going outside with it. And he gave up about 6 yards from the point in which he caught the ball, and he was tackled by Shane Skov. 49ers trail, and the Rams have great field position when we come back. Royals are 1 win away from their first World Championship in 30 years tonight in Game 5. Edinson Volquez will make an emotional return to the mound against Matt Harvey. Father passed away right before his start in his first game. Should be an incredible night in New York. Royals-Mets Game 5 tonight after football, only here on Fox. Once again, Tavon Austin lines up behind Foles. Worked the last time. Play action this time. Foles directing traffic and going underneath, and completes the pass for a short game to Lance Kendricks. Got about 4.
Nice one-handed catch by Kendricks, and you know, what we stated earlier, coming back from that thumb surgery and injury, look at that big cast on that left hand. You got to make sure that you put that ball away for ball security, because any defender, once they see that, it's like blood in the water. They're going to go hack away at it.
This time, Tavon Austin splits to the left as Trey Mason checks in at running back. 2nd down and 7. We'll go with Mason here, and Mason gets to midfield, picking up 3 more yards. Michael Wilhoit on the stop for the 49ers. Under 5.5 minutes to go in the third quarter. Now they go with the pass catcher, Benny Cunningham. There's Gurley. He's had another tremendous game and a big 71-yard touchdown run. Has 125 yards all told as a rusher. Has caught 3 passes for 13 himself. 3rd and 4. And Cunningham loses the ball, and it's picked up by the 49ers. Ahmad Brooks, and Brooks is going to go in. Let's see if he stepped out of bounds. A touchdown signal is given for Brooks.
It's a nice scoop and score, but it's going to be coming back
Flag.
with the face mask on Ahmad Brooks.
'49ers making their play around the officials.
During the fumble, while the ball was loose, personal foul, grabbing the face mask, defense, number 55. 15-yard penalty from the previous spot. St. Louis keeps the ball. First down.
And you have to say, David, that maybe if he doesn't grab the face mask, Cunningham covers his own fumble.
And this is the exact spark that this San Francisco defense and team needed. Getting a score on defense, get that team fired up and getting rolling in the second half. But once again, the penalties are what is killing any opportunity that they have. And if you go back to it again, they hit them right where the Rams are hurting. They're 0 for 8 right now on 3rd down.
49ers did not have the possession of the ball, which is why the Rams still have it. And Cunningham looked like he was going to get to the ball first. Whether he would have kept it is another issue, but the face mask prevented him from getting there. And now Jerome Boger is talking to the Supreme Court out there. Usually 9-5 49ers out there. It'll be the Rams ball, 1st and 10 at the 35.
Taking a lot of time.
Well, Jerome Boger has heard from just about everyone in the Cardinal and Gold.
Obviously, they're claiming because it happened after the fumble. That's what they're fighting about.
Yes, but the 49ers never had possession of the ball.
But they're claiming it should be a spot and they should get it where the foul happened, but they should get the ball.
Mike, explain this to us, please. Mike Pereira.
Well, I think it's pretty simple, and you did a good job, Dick. The actual face mask came during the fumble. Had it occurred after the change of possession when San Francisco had the ball, then they would keep the ball. But since it was during the fumble and it ended up behind, the spot of the foul was behind the line of scrimmage, clearly you see the mask there while the ball is loose. New rule this year, instead of enforcing it from the spot of the foul, you go back to the previous spot and enforce it from there. Jerome Boger, I think, wanted to make sure everybody understood it because it is confusing, but he handled it absolutely perfectly.
Mike, you get overtime pay for today, for sure. First and 10 at the 35. Trey Mason off the left side, getting inside the 30-yard line. DeBarro Bowman making the tackle. Let's hear from Mike Hill. He's got a game break for us. Mike.
Guys, Drew Brees putting on a clinic against the Giants defense. His 6th touchdown pass of the game. This one to Benjamin Watson. He still got the 4th quarter to go. And remember, the record for the NFL is 7, 42-28 Saints.
You were telling me the Giants always have trouble winning in New Orleans.
I've never won in the Superdome. College, pros, never.
Don't be bitter now.
130.
Second down and 4, and there's Tavon Austin. They fake the end around, give it to Trey Mason, and Mason getting close to the first down. It's going to be very close. Will Hoyt makes the stop. The spot seems to be enough for the first down.
And that's where Tavon Austin's athletic ability and what he's done earlier in the game, that decoy, running that jet sweep, makes that backside hold up, and what's it do? It opens things up the middle.
4-yard pickup. Tavon Austin has caught 3 passes for 32 yards, has rushed 3 times for 21. Rams dominating since the first quarter in total yardage. Really asserting themselves. On first down, here's Trey Mason, and he'll lose Eli Harold, the rookie from Virginia. And a loss on the play of 3. Three minutes to go in the third quarter. Rams in front, 20-6. Rams took a 3-0 lead, then came, well, I should say the Niners did, then the safety made it 3-2. That was the score after the first quarter. Second and 12. Here's Trey Mason looking for a bit of a hole, and he picks up yardage down to the 23. The Arizona Cardinals were losing early, and now we have some tempers flaring once again. Those are the NFC West standings, and they have been separated. Cardinals were losing early, but leading here. And against the Browns by a 24-20 score early in the fourth quarter. The Rams trying to go to 4-3, and the Seahawks and the Cowboys later in Dallas on America's Game of the Week right here on Fox.
Let's see if they can come up with their first third down conversion of the day.
0 for 7 are the Rams. They need 8 yards to keep it going. Here's Trey Mason. And they're not going to get it, but at least for Jeff Fisher, as Christina Pink reported, he's got the time of possession finally on his side. He hasn't had it in one game this year. And right now, by a slim margin, they have it, and the field goal attempt coming up. Greg Zuerlein, who kicked a 38-yard field goal earlier, looking to add to the Rams' lead. This will be a 40-yard try. Blocked. 49er got a piece of it, and Zuerlein's kick is missed. Came into the game 8 for 13. And he's now 1 for 2. Quentin Dial, who had been shaken up and came back, got a piece of this one. And the score remains 20-6 in favor of St. Louis. Spring, Rams defensive lineman William Hayes and Chris Long went undercover as homeless St. Louisans spending a night on the street in downtown St. Louis. Since 2012, Hayes and Long, along with Rams defensive assistants Dave McGinnis and Mike Waffle, have led the sack homelessness campaign. For every sack the team gets, each person involved in the program donates $1,000 to St. Patrick's Center, a Catholic charity that assists the homeless in St. Louis. And on cue, they got another sack. That was Robert Quinn. Hayes also hosts an annual paintball tournament to raise money for the center.
They get the pressure. They bring Mark Barron off of the top. See Miller pressing. He hits him. What's it do? Back retrace from Robert Quinn, coming up with another sack. That is his 5th on the season, and since 2012, the next thing they'll want to put in are those forced fumbles that he's been coming up with. 16, most in the NFL.
Loss of 5 yards, but Jerome Simpson is there on the 16-yard play and a first down for the 49ers.
Great response by the 49ers. They did not let that one play negatively affect them. Got back to the line of scrimmage, Colin Kaepernick getting it to Simpson and getting the first down.
Simpson is wide to the left. Seconds left in the third quarter. They get it off before the end of the quarter, and this pass intended for Simpson overthrown, and that will end the third quarter.
This is the end of the third quarter.
With the score, the Rams 20 and the 49ers 6. Fox NFL Sunday returns after these messages and a word from your local Fox station. And we start the fourth quarter here in St. Louis. Dick Stockton, David Deal, and Christina Pink. The Rams lead the 49ers 20-6. It'll be second down and 10 on the 41 for the 49ers. Kaepernick can't go left, and finally takes off and goes out of bounds. Picking up a few. Well, we have had 20 penalties accepted in this game, David, and only 2 third down conversions. None by the Rams, who are leading in this game. They are 0 for 8. 49ers not that much better at 2 for 12 at 17%. You don't want to write home about that either. So it's 3rd and 4. They send 3 wide receivers out to the left. And Vernon Davis, the tight end, goes in motion to the left slot. And this pass bounces in front of Jerome Simpson. And that'll be 4th down. So yet another punt. Those are the numbers through 3 quarters. Penalties are the stars of the game. The lack of discipline and the untimeliness of a lot of them. Third down conversions, not there.
Colin Kaepernick missed one on that because he had Torrey Smith at the top of the screen wide open on a little quick comeback.
Smith has 1 catch in the game. And punt to Tavon Austin at the 10. The flag is down at the 45. Two flags down. There's one also down by the 20. We have a good scanner here. We can see all those little yellow flags.
Foul for an illegal cut on the kick by the kicking team. The foul occurred. The action occurred before the ball was kicked. Personal foul, face mask, receiving team number 21. Half the distance to the goal, first down.
So that's on Jenkins. It's going to set the Rams back. But they're winning early here in the fourth.
This game is sponsored by Visa Checkout, the easier way to pay online. Sign up now. By Hyundai, an official sponsor of the NFL. And by Subway. Come in for National Sandwich Day, Tuesday, November 3rd.
And we're back with the Rams starting from their 5-yard line. Todd Gurley goes.
Double.
Lining up in the end zone on first down. And here is Gurley. And Gurley gets a couple. The Rams, if you notice today, are wearing the throwback uniforms from the 1999 season. They were the Super Bowl 34 champions, beating Tennessee. And the Super Bowl the next year as well. The greatest show on turf, and we've been anything but today. But they're in front 20-6 thanks to their tremendous defense. They're their offensive leaders, and you can say that about Todd Gurley. Neither quarterback is close to 200 yards passing today. Second down and 7. Here's Gurley, and he crosses the 10, bringing up third down. Well, these are the uniforms. Super Bowl 14, they were in Los Angeles, faced the Steelers with the likes of Jack Youngblood, Wendell Tyler, and Vince Ferragamo. And then let's fast forward to Super Bowl 34. The Rams had the greatest show on turf. Kurt Warner, Marshall Faulk, Isaac Bruce, Torrey Holt, how exciting they were. And they beat the Titans in that thrilling game. Well, when Warner threw in stride to those receivers, see you later, right?
Especially in this building.
Third down and 4. And here is Gurley, who's not going to get enough for the first down. Flag is down right around the line of scrimmage.
There's no foul for an illegal hands to the face. The contact was on the offensive player's shoulder. 4th down.
No foul. So we can't add that to our scoreboard, David, our penalty scoreboard, which is gaining momentum throughout this game. So it'll be 4th down, and Johnny Hekker will be kicking. Bruce Ellington goes back to receive the kick.
But what we can mark that is that's the 9th time that the 49ers defense have stopped the Rams on 3rd down.
And there's something to be said about that. Here's Ellington. Flag is down, and that usually is a illegal block in the back or holding, you name it. 57-yard kick, good kick by Johnny Hekker. And it looks like the 49ers will be moved back some more.
Dante Johnson.
Just beside himself.
There is no foul for the illegal block in the back during the turn. But during the kick, holding, receiving team, number 58. 10-yard penalty from the end of the kick. 1st down.
So Eli Harold called for the hold, and the 49ers will move back. Timeout. We'll be right back. San Francisco 49ers, Colin Kaepernick, who's 50% completions, 15 of 30, 123 yards. And of a 1st and 10 at the 20-yard line. Simpson split to the left. Torrey Smith to the right. Kendall Gaskins, the only healthy running back the 49ers have, and movement in the line.
Encroachment. Defense, number 90.
It's the Rams, 5 yards against Michael Brockers. Well, the best football game in America this Thursday is on FS1 as the 2nd-ranked Baylor Bears and their high-powered offense takes on Kansas State. The only place to see all the action is Thursday night on FS1. So now 1st and 5. Pitches to Gaskins. And Gaskins gets up to the 27. Well, in this game, Carlos Hyde unable to go with a stress fracture. He was the leading rusher for the 49ers coming in. Jared Hayne was released, and Gaskins, who just carried, was brought up in the practice squad. Reggie Bush went out with an injury, as did Mike Davis.
Tough one to try to overcome that much in the backfield.
Right. 2nd down and 3. Vernon Davis, the leading receiver for either team, going in motion. And Kaepernick giving ground, fires it away. Did he get out of the pocket? And was there a receiver? There was a receiver nearby, and Aaron Donald putting pressure on Kaepernick, and this was just an offensive line breakdown.
It just was. But this is the position that they've put themselves in. They continue to get backed up. They're trying to make any type of play that they possibly can. They haven't gotten the ball to Torrey Smith. They haven't been able to get it back to Vernon Davis, and what does that do? It's just letting this
got back
defense...
to the original line of scrimmage. 3rd down.
So, no illegal grounding. The ball was thrown at the line of scrimmage. So it'll be 3rd down and 3. Todd Gurley, 133 yards rushing, waiting to get back on the field. From the 26, 3rd down and 3. And the pitch out to Jerome Simpson, and Simpson will have the 1st down. A bullet pass from Kaepernick to Simpson. He gets 10 yards and a 1st down out to the 37.
hits him on a little quick rocket screen to the wide receiver. That's what you can do when it's a third and manageable down and distance where you don't have to stretch the field and you can take that pressure off your offensive line.
49ers playing a little hurry up now. And they need to, down 20-6. They take a handoff. Kaepernick not going to get away from Ethan Westbrooks. And a loss of 4 and another sack credited to the Rams. That's their third of the game.
Ethan Westbrooks last week had his first sack. He's the player who beat out Michael Sam for this position as a free agent. See him with the bull rush against Piers. Is able to get it back inside when Colin Kaepernick steps up in the pocket. Get his second sack of the season.
Second down and 13. The 34-yard line of the 49ers. Coming up and showing blitz in the secondary, and the shuffle pass to Kendall Gaskins is incomplete. That looked like it might have gained some yards if he had held on.
It most certainly would have, because what does that do? It slows down the pass rush on their ability to do it. But Kaepernick gets rid of this ball quickly because he feels it in his face. Watch how he throws this football. He feels it. He tries winging it over there, and it's a knuckleball.
Really wasn't a shuffle pass, and you're right. Threw it overhead. So it'll be third down. 49ers need 13 yards to keep the ball. Kaepernick drills it, and off the hands of Torrey Smith, incomplete. And another punting situation coming up, and now the 49ers are 3 for 15 on third down conversions. Rams have yet to convert one today.
We were asking what are some of the things that they can do. Is they brought Torrey Smith for that deep threat, for his ability to convert on third down. Clear drop. That's been the problem, not only plaguing them in this game, but throughout this season. When they have had their opportunities to convert, they don't come up with it.
15 catches on the year is what Torrey Smith has, the former Raven. Pinion. And here's Tavon Austin. And it takes a Ram bounce, and it will be down at the 27. And it looks like one of the Rams, Austin, tried to steal one there. Austin tried to go subterranean that time. He couldn't. Well, I'll tell you, Pinion's been a busy guy today, and Austin for many reasons.
Today's game is sponsored by McDonald's, teaming up with the NFL like never before.
And it's a first down for the Rams on the 27. Trey Mason is the running back, but Todd Gurley, fourth straight game with 120 or more rushing yards. And Trey Mason carries it out to the 31-yard line, a gain of 4. Again, let's take a look at the game summary. 23 combined penalties. 49ers in the last 2 games have scored a total of 9 points. But in this game, you knew they were going up against a really tough defense in St. Louis, especially at home, where they have allowed, coming into this game, only 2 touchdowns at home. That's the defensive unit. Only 8 on the year. And none today so far. 2nd and 6. Mason. They'll need about 4 or 5 yards as Ian Williams brings them down. 3-yard pickup. Using clock is what Jeff Fisher's offensive team is doing now.
They are. They're running the football. They're getting yards, 3-4 yards a clip. But this is where they've had all their problems, regardless of whether it's been 3rd and 3 or 3rd and 10. They have yet to have a conversion on third down. So it's not only on them, but you've got to give credit to the 49ers defense, because in this game, they have continued to fight.
Well, you know what? These are the 2 lowest scoring teams in the league, and the 49ers offense just hasn't materialized. Otherwise, it would be a different kind of story. Here's Tavon Austin on the wide receiver screen. They get the first down there. Here is Austin. He needs a block from Stedman Bailey. He gets it, and Austin will score. Tavon Austin with his second touchdown of the game. This obviously a lot more spectacular than the first one when he just reached over the pylon. 66 yards. And the Rams pile it on right now over the 49ers. And Jeff Fisher, this is a big game, and he knew it coming in against this 49er team, a division rival who has had their measure more than often lately.
They get a little quick screen. They can do this when it's 3rd and short. They get it to him, get him in open space. He gets his offensive lineman out there. Good blocks by the wide receivers, but he sees the crease. He hits it and gets downhill. He is that type of explosive player, and that's 16 career touchdowns now.
6 this year.
6 this year.
And Greg Zuerlein trying to add the 27th point, and he does. And the Rams, with 8:34 remaining in the game, leaving 27-6, and Austin showing his appreciation, gives the ball to a fan, not in a throwback uniform, I might add. And we're back here in St. Louis. Tavon Austin with his second touchdown. 3 plays, 73 yards, but maybe most important, we've been talking about it all game, David Deal, their first 3rd down conversion of the contest.
Well, if you're going to convert one of them, that's the way that you want to do it. Take it to the house for 73 yards.
Bruce Ellington back deep for the 49ers. And the 49ers will take it out on the 20-yard line. Well, how many times we have seen the Rams in a situation like this where they have a chance to gain momentum and they don't, they fall flat. As you mentioned earlier, sometimes playing down to the opposition, not happening today.
That's been their MO. How are they going to do stacking wins, competing up against teams that they should beat? We've seen in the past, right when you think that the St. Louis Rams team is going to turn the corner, they have that big letdown. What are we seeing here in the 4th quarter? They are closing out this football game.
And they have a chance to develop that too. Hand off to Gaskins, who gets a couple of yards.
You know, we talked to James Laurinaitis, the captain of this defense, the guy who never leaves the football field, which he hasn't done all season. He's the guy that said, you know what, we have to get rid of that stigma. We know that that's what people think, that we're going to have that letdown game. We've got to continue to make progress week in and week out and show who we are as a football team. They didn't start that way, but they made the adjustments at halftime, and the second half has gone their way.
And Robert Quinn, what a solid game he's played. I'll tell you, this is a defensive front 4, and isn't it great when you can rush the passer with just 4 people, have so much depth to this team. And another penalty flag down.
Illegal motion. Offense, number 14 was moving forward at the snap. 5-yard penalty, replay, 2nd down.
Well, the issue is that the 49ers only have 1 running back. Right now, this Rams defense, especially the front 4, they're not respecting the run. They don't care. What are they doing? They are trying to attack Colin Kaepernick and play the run on the way to the quarterback. And when you're up like this, when you put this team, the 49ers, in a tough position, it's playing right into the game plan and right into the advantage of the defense.
They're just teeing off. Here's Kaepernick. And he's going to have to take off, and he goes out of bounds. Pressure by Robert Quinn once again.
It's been a tough day for Colin Kaepernick today. You know, you can't only say it on him. Obviously, there's passes that he needs to make. There's ones that he's overthrown. But he's been under pressure not only in this game, but all season. We think of the loss of Anthony Davis, Mikey Iupati, now the inexperience of this right side of the offensive line. Throughout all of this, you've never heard him put the blame on anybody else.
You wonder if he has taken a bad rap, an unfair rap. You know, always centering on the quarterback. And look at Seattle game. In this game, the offensive line breakdowns really hurt. There's a pass that's caught by Bruce Ellington. And it'll be 4th down and a chance to kick again. Well, temper's still flaring between these teams.
Well, of course, it's a rivalry game. Down by 4, start a war in hockey. You're down in a game like this, you're fighting and scratching and clawing in any way possible. And, you know, we talked about this coming into this football game about Colin Kaepernick. who would you think have better statistics, Colin Kaepernick or Cam Newton?
I know the answer to
And the
that.
answer is Colin Kaepernick.
Yes.
But what is Cam Newton and his football team doing? They're piling on wins.
Phil Dawson is punting for the 49ers. Tavon Austin back at the 25. A flag immediately goes down, and here is Austin. And Austin falls down on his own account at the 43-yard line. So, you know, Bradley Pinion had to be tired of using that leg the whole game. I mean, I don't know whether he is shaken up or not, but they bring Dawson in. So I don't know if he's hurt or whether they said, why don't you take a break?
He's got to
During
be
the kick,
hurt.
holding number 12 of the receiving team. 10-yard penalty from the end of the kick. First down.
He's got to be hurt. You see the medical staff going over there surrounding him. There's got to be something with his hamstring or not.
Pinion's been a busy guy today. And yeah, it looks like he is shaken up. Bradley Pinion, the rookie from Clemson, has punted 9 times in this one.
That's usually what you get in pregame, not during the regular game.
You know, when you said down by 4, start a war, that is said by a true Chicago Blackhawks fan.
Yes, it is. But it's the truth. When you're down in a game like this and you're playing up against a division rival, it's at this point where you have nothing but your fight. You're backed up against the wall. You've got to come out swinging, and they're coming out doing that. Trey
Mason is the running back here with 6:28 to go in the game. Mason going wide will obviously try to stay in bounds. Let's send it down to Christina.
Well, Dick, David, you guys just mentioned it. You saw Bradley Pinion there on the sideline. Suffered a calf injury, and that is why he was not on the field for that punt, was ruled out, and that's why we saw Dawson there.
Thank you, Christina. You know, the Blackhawks are never down by 4 goals, are they?
Well, they haven't been in recent years. They've been controlling and starting a dynasty there. But like I said, when you're in a division game like this, you don't like them, they don't like you, and it's been clear. Obviously, you don't want to do it with all the penalties that they had, but you see all the scrums, you see all the pushing and fighting. That's what a rivalry is about. It's fighting not only for the name on the back of your jersey, but what's on your helmet.
Trey Mason brought down by Eli Harold for a loss on the play.
Forward progress was stopped behind the line of scrimmage. Third down.
So it is 3rd down. San Francisco 49ers. What a weird week it has been for the 49ers. This things that you have read coming out of the Bay Area was one of the strangest of what's been happening. It's a team that's been in a defensive mode all week, with chemistry being talked about, quarterback holding center stage. 3rd down and 10. There's Mason. Pushed back at the 20 by Tony Girardetti.
You know, that's a souvenir right there for Todd Gurley. That's his touchdown. You know, he's hoping that he stacks his mantle case with a bunch of those throughout his career. That's one thing I will say. I've gotten game balls, but I've never scored a touchdown in my life, that's for sure.
But you have a couple of rings, I believe.
Yeah, yes. And that's the one thing that you talk to any player, yeah, you'd love to have that, but any player in the world would trade their individual accomplishments for the team win.
Johnny Hecker will be kicking, and Bruce Ellington is back deep for the 49ers. Beautiful kick. Ellington from the 25. Pretty return. And finds himself into Ram territory after the return of 28 yards.
Todd Gurley definitely got it going today. It was a slow start, but what did they do? They picked it up, had the big run on power, sliced through the defense, getting those yards after contact, supplying everything that this Rams offense needed. Hopefully put this team ahead and come away with the win.
Well, they're not going to risk him anymore. 20 rushes, 133 yards, and a 71-yard touchdown run, a beauty. One of the many he has shown so far in the few games he's played. Really set the tone for the Rams the rest of the way. Their defense took over, leading 27-6. And here is Gaskins as a receiver going out of bounds at the 41-yard line, gaining 8. Mike Hill in Los Angeles for a game break. Mike.
Hey, don't forget, coming up after your game, it's America's Game of the Week. It's the Legion of Boom, led by Richard Sherman. The Seattle Seahawks taking on this guy, Des Bryant, his first game back since week 1. Cowboys of all sports break. Seahawks boys next on Fox.
All right, Mike, thank you very much. 2nd down and 2. And there's Gaskins out of the backfield, and he'll have a first down. And he gets to the 32-yard line where Mark Barron makes the stop, a gain of 9. So they're using Gaskins as a receiver out of the backfield here.
Talk about a great story. He was in Giants training camp. He was on the 49ers practice squad all last season. But getting his opportunity and making the most of it. He's been thrust into this position. His teammates all rallied behind him and wanted him here. And look at him, still here in the 4th quarter, making catches and fighting for those extra yards.
Kaepernick with his 38th pass of the game completes it to Torrey Smith, who goes out of bounds after a minimal gain. Kaepernick is 20 for 38, 153 yards. So what do you make of the 49ers situation at this point, David?
Well, it's tough to function as an offense when you're losing your 2 best weapons. And Carlos Hyde, who's done all the grunt work for you, and Anquan Boldin. Anquan Boldin has had 600-yard games up against this Rams defense. So you knew coming in, if he was in it, he gave you that opportunity to stretch the field.
2nd down and 2 from the 24. Kaepernick with the pass, incomplete. He was going for Vernon Davis. So that will be 3rd down coming up right now.
Well, you know, you talked earlier about all the off-the-field things, and, you know, I've been a part of championship teams, and I've been a part of tough teams. And when tough teams are going through struggles and adversity hits, yeah, you're going to have arguments. Yeah, you're going to have disagreements. But what's the cure? Vitamin W, winning. That cures everything, and it takes all those outside distractions and everything that happens in the locker room with frustration. It takes everything away.
Can you get that over the counter, the Vitamin W?
No, you've got to work and earn those.
3rd down and 2. And on the slant, the pass is thrown behind Jerome Simpson. So it'll be 4th down, and the 49ers offense will stay on the field. Remember, the Rams have a lot of pride going here. As we have said, the defense has allowed only 2 touchdowns at home all year, none today, and they would like to protect that territory. It will be 4th and 2 here.
Greg Williams, the defensive coordinator right there, has been dialing it up all day. He's had a very nice and successful game plan thus far.
Fourth down and 2, and the pass is incomplete, and Janoris Jenkins disrupted Jerome Simpson on the slant, and the Rams will take over on downs with 3:03 left.
Back-to-back plays where they went after Simpson on that inside slant. This one was greatly defense. The last one, Colin Kaepernick has got to throw a better football, but you can't get anything but credit to Janoris Jenkins. Having a great season, playing way more discipline than he has in the past because this is his contract year. He is a ball harker, and he's been a guy who's jump routes, and sometimes that's gotten him beat.
Greg Williams has done a terrific job as the defensive coordinator, and you know, here's a guy, as you mentioned early in the game, likes to blitz even though he can just rush 4 and get it done. He has been the architect of this terrific defense. 2nd season on Jeff Fisher's staff. So now the Rams taking over 1st down, and Trey Mason. Good gain up the middle, getting about 9 yards on 1st down.
Look at that. First time in the 260-plus yard touchdown since 1961. That is a long time, but that's what this team is built off of. Explosive plays between Tavon Austin, Gurley, the rest of this team.
Ollie Matson was once traded for 11 players in the NFL. Great running back. Played with the old Chicago Cardinals and was traded to the Rams for 11 people. Huh?
And that's a surprising stat. You think that there would be more with the greatest show on turf, like we talked about, Torrey Holt, Marshall Faulk, Isaac Bruce. You think that they would have broken that when they had their run.
And we're winding down to the 2-minute warning. 2 minutes remain here in St. Louis with the Rams leading the 49ers
This is the 2-minute
27-6. 2 minutes remaining as the Rams leading the 49ers 27-6. And they will be over 500 for the first time since 2006 at this point with a 4-3 record. And when you consider they've got a game in Minnesota next week and then home with the Bears and at Baltimore, they are in position, if they continue this good defensive play, to really add to that winning record.
Undefeated home, undefeated in the division, and this is their opportunity. Their toughest tasks as a team are pretty much behind them. This is their opportunity to start stacking wins up against some opponents that are beatable, but they've got to stick with the game plan, and they've got to prove it week in and week out.
No
but
question.
they're not going to have that letdown.
Allowing 6 points in each of the last 2 games. Browns and the 49ers, that's all they got. And for the first time this year, the St. Louis Rams will have back-to-back victories. They'll go to 4-3 on the year. Gurley with another brilliant game with one tremendous run of 71 yards and a touchdown. And the 49ers will drop to 2-6 on the year. Still winless on the road. Kaepernick, 20 of 41 for 162 yards. The only touchdown pass thrown by Nick Foles, who threw for 191 in this game. Austin caught 4 passes. Rams, the defense took over, starting with a safety after the field goal. And the Rams come through with a game they often faltered in, but they come back strong and win this game by a score of 27-6. For David Deal and Christina Pink, Dick Stockton saying so long from St. Louis. Right now, let's go to the State Farm Game Break Show with Kurt Menefee and the boys in Los Angeles.